Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be upon you, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to the Muslim Converse channel. In many religions across the world, ritual purification is often required before performing a certain ritual. In Islam, the state of ritual purity is called Tahāra. The opposite of ritual purity is ritual impurity, called Najāsa. In this lesson, we'll look into the meaning and purpose of Tahāra in Islam. We will also look into the different kinds of ritual purification and Najāsa in Islamic law. Do not stand for prayer within it ever. A mosque founded on righteousness from the first day is more worthy for you to stand in. Within it are men who love to purify themselves, and Allah loves those who purify themselves. Chapter 9, verse 108 of the Holy Quran. If a Muslim wants his or her prayer, fasting or hajj to be valid, then he or she must be in a state of ritual purity before performing those actions. In other words, one must be tahir. To ritually purify oneself, one can do one of three things: perform wudu, minor ablution, ghusl, major ablution, or tayammum, purification through the use of earth or dust. Examples of when you have to do wudu are: wudu is when you take water with your hands and wipe your face. Wipe your forearms down to your hands, wipe the top of your head, and wipe your feet. Wudu is a must if you want to pray or touch the Quran. If you fall asleep and wake up, you will lose your state of wudu, and will have to redo it again. If you go to the bathroom and do number 1 or number 2 or pass wind, then you must also perform wudu. If you want to pray or touch the Holy Quran, that is. Examples of when you have to do ghusl are: if you lose your wudu, you lose your minor state of ritual purity. However, you do not necessarily enter a state of major ritual impurity if you lose it. Entering a state of major impurity is called Janāba. Things which make a person enter a state of major impurity are, among other things, sexual intercourse with one's spouse or bleeding during one's monthly cycle. If a person wants to pray or fast, for example, the major ablution, that is, ghusl, must be performed. Ghusl consists of washing the whole of one's body. Ghusl may also be performed by submerging oneself completely underwater, and this is called ghusl irtimasi in Islamic law. Once ghusl is performed, one does not need to perform wudu as a ghusl because ghusl automatically puts a person in a state of wudu in most cases. Ghusl is also needed if a person touches a dead body. Now let's talk about tayammum. When performing wudu or ghusl, one must do so with ritually pure water. This means that, for example, the water cannot be discolored or have its odor changed with ritually impure things such as feces. When a person is unable to find water, or does not have enough water, or does not have ritually pure water, or if performing ghusl will take too long and prayer time is about to be over, then a person can purify oneself with clean earth. Tayammum is done through wiping one's forehead and hands with earth or dust. Tayammum has the same effect as ghusl. For more information on how exactly to perform wudu, ghusl, and tayammum, please see the links below the screen. A common misunderstanding about Tahāra and Najāsa is equating the terms with cleanliness and dirtiness. But this is incorrect. Tahāra and Najāsa refer to ritual purity and impurity, meaning that they are pure or impure within the context of religious rituals. For example, items that are najis or ritually impure include pigs, dogs, blood, semen, or feces, among many other things. But this does not mean that they are necessarily dirty. A pig or a dog may be given a bath and thus be considered clean in the conventional sense, but still ritually impure. Similarly, it doesn't mean that if something is tahir, it's necessarily clean. For example, bird excrement may be considered tahir, but many people will consider it dirty. Another example would be a person who comes out working in a mine. He or she will be considered very dirty in the conventional sense, but still be considered tahir and be able to perform prayer as long as he or she is still in a state of wudu. The distinction is really important to understand because often enough it is used as a point to attack Islam. For example, if a woman is in her menses or just gave birth, will be required at the same time to perform ghusl if she wants to pray again. But some people mistakenly interpret this as a form of sexism where they think that the woman's biology is dirty according to Islam. They forget that men can also enter states of ritual impurity, like when they discharge semen. So these kinds of ignorant statements should be discarded because, number 1, both genders have states of ritual impurity, and number 2, ritual impurity does not necessarily mean dirty. Before we let you go, it's important to clarify another matter. Although ritual purity or impurity does not necessarily translate to cleanliness or dirtiness, Islam also emphasizes on cleanliness anyways. The Prophet Muhammad once said, "Cleanliness is half of one's religion." For more information on how to get rid of ritual impurities, you may want to look at the following link under the screen. Until next time, thank you for watching. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.